Hello, users! Is this thing on? I think it's on. Okay, so hello, users! Welcome to what is the beginning of a hot, at least I hope it's a hot, new series of mine. And this is called Lucid Dreaming. And you may know over the last couple or so of months, I have been talking on and off about lucid dreaming, dream therapy, all that kind of stuff. And today I wanted to, usually in those videos I would talk more in a blogging style, like, oh, this is something I'm doing, look at this cool thing I'm doing. And today I wanted to start up a kind of more, I've explored it, you know, I'm not a beginner anymore, at least I'm on the transcendent path from beginner to intermediary, and I wanted to start making videos in more of an experienced fashion, less of a, hey cool, this is a new thing I'm doing, how's everyone like it kind of a thing. I want this to be more of, just I'm trying to help people. For me personally, lucid dreaming and just dreaming in general has improved my mental health to an extraordinary degree. And this is all improv, by the way. So if I stutter, if I say I'm so sorry. But for me personally, I have dealt with anxiety, and I know a lot of my viewer base has dealt with these things as well. I have dealt with anxiety, I've dealt with depression, I've dealt with all kinds of mental health conditions that make it hard to get up in the morning, make it hard to, live life, make it difficult to want to experience life. And one of the things about dreaming is that we sleep about a third of our lives. And so if you are sleeping about a third of your life and you are not taking advantage of it, that is a hell of a lot of wasted time. And that was one of the main things for me as far as wanting to start doing lucid dreaming. I've done a lot of experimentation over the last couple of years, but this was the first time that I actually put a lot of these things together and actually tried really, really hard to get into this. And I can say that it was a resounding success. I am not depressed anymore. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's not just lucid dreaming. I'm not trying to sell you anything. But at the same time, if you do struggle with anxiety, depression, if you have a lot of problems, if maybe it's on the opposite end and you struggle getting to sleep, maybe you're someone who doesn't sleep enough and you're suffering from sleep deprivation, lucid dreaming can be a very useful tool. And so that's why I'm trying to come here and I'm trying to just give you a bunch of stuff. So for real quick format-wise, I'm going to start these videos off by doing a little bit of kind of a monologue. I'm going to talk about the topic. Today is just an introduction to lucid dreaming. The next episode will maybe be more based around techniques in order to induce lucid dreaming. And while I am doing this, I am playing a game called LSD Dream Emulator, and this game is based off of somebody's dream journal, and so this is also a very rare and expensive video game. Look at me, I'm cool, I'm playing on a real console. But, so this is just all about dreams, buddy, but today's episode is going to be about what lucid dreaming is, and that kind of stuff. So for those of you that do not know, you're thinking, what is lucid dreaming? What is this stupid effing bitch saying about all this dream stuff? What? Lucid dreaming Hello, chatters, by the way. This is the live stream. And I will do a Q&A session at the end of the monologue. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you have any questions, save them to the end of the stream, and I will get to them as long as they're, on topic. But lucid dreaming, the word lucid basically means you are aware. You are aware of your surroundings. And then lucid dream would mean that you are aware that you are dreaming. That is the basic definition. Which, if you are aware that you are dreaming, there are literally endless possibilities of what you can do inside of your dreams. For me personally, I'm a YouTuber, right? I like making YouTube videos. It's fun. It's dandy. I enjoy doing it. A lot of the time, whether or not I'm in a lucid dream state, a lot of the time, I notice that I come up with really good video ideas when I'm dreaming. And so, to me, when it comes to lucid dreaming as someone who tries to be productive, it really helps kind of stimulate my thought, stimulate kind of the creative, creativity in my brain. And it also, just is really fun. Lucid dreaming, you can basically explore any possibility. You can do anything that your brain is capable of generating. And our brains, subconsciously, are capable of a lot. Another thing that lucid dreaming is very useful for is, again, if you suffer from anxiety or depression or other kinds of stuff, lucid dreaming can really help explore your subconscious. For a lot of people that have mental health conditions like myself, there's a lot of, dissonance, I believe is a good word, in how we behave, how we think of ourselves, how we think of the world, how we wish we would behave, how we wish we could think of each other, that kind of stuff. And so for me, dream therapy, which is another term I like to use, whether or not I am lucid in dreams or whether or not they're just really deep dreams, when you start writing your dreams down, and I'll talk about the dream journal and all their techniques in the next episode, but when you start writing dreams down, when you start being able to analyze your dreams, when you increase your ability to recall dreams, it allows you to kind of understand yourself a lot more. Because a lot of people, and this is something that can be applied to every person on Earth, a lot of people will treat their lives without, like they're spectating, like they're watching a television show. People don't have a lot of lucidity in their waking lives. Like you wake up, you go to work, you come home, you drink a burr, and you go to bed. Like a lot of people don't really think about the things that they're doing. And so lucidity as a concept is very useful for your waking life and your dream life, because if you're trying to induce lucid dreams, the experience that you're gaining, the steps that you're looking toward, the steps that you're taking are going to they're going to give you a lot of benefits in waking life indeed as well. And so for example, one of the techniques, and I will go more into techniques in another episode, but one of the techniques that you do to induce lucid dreaming is reality checks. And the fundamental idea of a reality check is that you question your environment, you snap out of a trance of being on autopilot, and you think to yourself, am I dreaming? And if you do this a significant amount of time, if you do this, maybe 5 or 6 times a day, then eventually, theoretically at least, you will do this in a dream, you will realize you were dreaming, and you will induce a lucid dream. So, the benefits of that for waking life is that you pay attention to things more. Like, a lot of people will say, just walk downstairs, go to the bathroom, flush the toilet, go back upstairs, whatever. But have you ever, gone to the bathroom, looked out the window, just kind of absorb the outside environment? Do you ever, look at the walls? and think to yourself, like, look at those walls. Like, look at the way that those walls are shaped. You know, look at the architecture of the building that you're living in. You know, have you ever, like, looked at a, you know, say a poster you've got on the wall? Like, I've got my Mega Man X6 poster right behind me, right? Have you ever looked at something and just, like, really analyzed the details? This is the kind of stuff that lucidity as a concept brings about. You pay attention more to everyday life. You pay attention more to your surroundings. You pay attention more to the things that you're interacting with. And that will make you a more conscious person. That will make you someone who's more in touch with the world around them. That will make you someone who's more aware and more thoughtful. A lot of people aren't necessarily, and I'm not trying to call anyone out here, but a lot of people aren't necessarily super thoughtful. A lot of people, again, just go about their daily lives, just kind of living. And days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, years turn into decades. All of a sudden, you're retired. Just kidding, there's no such thing as retirement in late-stage capitalism. But all of a sudden, you're retired, you don't know what to do, and you wonder where the last 60 years or 70 years of your life went. And so one of the ideas about lucidity is this is a thing that you could work on, and I'm 24, right? So I can't speak, maybe it might be harder if you're like 34, or maybe if you're like 44, 54, 64, whatever, it might be harder. But as someone who's in my early 20s, you know, maybe you could say mid-20s, but I don't want to think about it. For me, this was something I was able to learn in just a few months of doing techniques, taking supplements, and I will do another episode on supplements, and maybe just an episode on each kind of supplement. But there's a lot of things you can do to help out with learning lucid dreaming, and it might seem daunting. And so this is one thing that I want to say is an introduction. This is an introductory episode to the concept of dream therapy, to exploring your dream worlds, that kind of stuff, is you shouldn't set the goal to be becoming lucid. That shouldn't be your first goal, because for me, when I set the goal to being lucid the first time, for me, I would get frustrated. You know, like, I would wake up and I was like, you know, maybe I almost became lucid, and I got up, I would be frustrated. You know, etc., etc., etc. And so, what you should do is you should focus on just really absorbing the kind of life, absorbing what, like, if you do have dreams, think about them. Like, when you wake up, instead of just ignoring your dream, right, you should write down all your dreams, but I'll get into that later. But just think about it, like, before you actually get up and do anything, unless you really have to go to the bathroom, right? And if you do, like, try to hold it in, just, like, you know, just a little bit, you know, just think about it, wake up, sit there, stare at the ceiling, or the wall, or whatever, you know, your waking position is. Just stare at the ceiling, whatever, and just think, what did I just dream about? Try to analyze what your subconscious is telling you, because a lot of ancient cultures, what they used to think about the dream world was they used to think that it was spirits talking to us, sending us messages, trying to give us useful information. And so now we know that dreams are kind of, you know, messages from our subconscious, right? And so try to analyze those messages. There's a lot of things that we have been conditioned to not think about or try really hard to ignore, that our subconscious is not, it's not privy to that conditioning. So if there is something you're worried about, or if there's like a lost memory you have or something like that, you can maybe dream about things, and you can maybe gain some more information about who you are as a person from analyzing these dreams. And so if you are going to start doing lucid dream practices, what you should know is that you shouldn't make necessarily lucid dreaming your sole priority, because yes, when you learn lucid dreaming, you will have more in-depth dreams. Your dreams will get more vivid. You will recall them more easily. You will have more dreams in general. A lot of people say, oh, I don't have dreams. I don't remember my dreams. I never have them. Well, certain substances, like maybe marijuana, prevent you from really having that many dreams unless you really focus on it. But maybe you drink alcohol. Alcohol messes with your sleep patterns, it makes dreaming much more difficult. And there's a lot of other stuff. But a lot of people just don't remember their dreams because they don't think about their dreams. It's not something that they ever really put that much effort into. Like, they think, okay, yeah, I have dreams, that's cool, but I want to wake up, I want to go play Minecraft, you know, I want to, like, you know, go eat my, you know, bacon fucking deluxe 9000 from Wendy's. And, you know, like, a lot of people don't really think, okay, well, let me analyze my dreams, because a lot of people don't really know that dreams are messages from your subconscious. And so if there's things that you're worried about, you should really try to analyze those things. And again, when it comes to dreaming, think of it as you are spending a third of your life rock solid on a bed or wherever else you're sleeping, just immobile. And if you like, so I'm 24, right? And so if that theory holds, I have spent 8 to 9 years of my life not living. I have spent 8 to 9 years of my life just a solid object that was motionless. And when you really think about it, say you're 30, you have spent 10 years doing nothing, absolutely nothing. And if you think, oh, well, I do nothing in general, so what else is new? Think about things. Maybe you're stuck in a rut. Maybe you can't really do that much, you know, in your physical capacity. Maybe there's, you know, there's a pandemic going on at this current moment. Not that many people can go outside. So think about spending 10 hours, right, just sitting there on your computer scrolling through Twitter, looking at YouTube videos, haha, look at the cat, they said meow, right? Think about the things you could do when your subconscious is your plaything. It's like playing Minecraft, except instead of going like, oh, look at me, I'm playing Minecraft, you're doing it, you're flying, you're feeling the breeze go through your hair, you're like smelling the atmosphere. It's so much more realistic, right? And it's just, it's amazing. It's amazing. So for me, I just want to say, lucid dreaming, again, has cured a lot of my depression, a lot of my anxiety. I would say at this point, I haven't been depressed in months. Now, again, I've been doing this with diet, exercise, reading, meditation, other stuff, and I will get more into that in later episodes. But this has basically just been a little bit of an introduction to what lucid dreaming has to offer, what it is, the ability to control your dreams. And lucid dreaming is a spectrum. You know, it's not like you have complete control or no control. So, like, if you do have a lucid dream, you know, it might not be, like, you might not be able to do much about it. You might know that you're dreaming, and then you try to do something, and then you wake up. And it's all about training those muscles. Like, think about, you know, like doing weights or whatever. Think about that when it comes to lucidity. It's all about training those muscles. And the more you do it, the more you're able to do in your dreams. Like, for me, my first time being lucid, it was like I was in a nightmare, right? And I was like, wait a second. This isn't real. And then I realized I was in a dream. And then the nightmare stopped being scary, but the nightmare didn't change. I didn't think, oh, I'm just going to turn the nightmare off and then go to Candyland. No, the nightmare context was still there. I was just aware of it. And then as I, you know, continue to lucid dream, as I continue to dream in general, next time I had one of those situations, I was able to change things. I was able to say, like, hey, look, it's a monster from Silent Hill. That's a video game. This is a dream. And then, like, the monster turns into a gingerbread man, for example, right? This is all kinds of stuff that, like, you know, the more you do it, the more you're going to excel at it. And I'm going to get to the Q&A in a second here. So if anyone has questions, you know, feel free to send them in the chat room. But yeah, this has basically just been an introduction to what lucid dreaming is. And I'm going to do more videos on the next video. I think is just going to be techniques, how to induce a lucid dream, the easiest ways to do so, like some of the things that you must do, like, for example, dream journal #1. I'll go more in depth about that in the next video, but if you have a notebook, it's better than your phone. I know a lot of people say, oh, I'll just use my phone. When you do your phone, you have probably blue light on there. It's very distracting. When you write, your brain just remembers more than if you type on a touch screen, for example. It's just you want to really remember more. And then the other thing is, when you write your dreams down, you have the capability of rereading them and then analyzing them maybe a couple days later when your brain has kind of forgotten things. Another thing is, when you do the dream journaling, you want to do this as soon as you wake up. Most people forget all of their dreams within the first 10 minutes of being awake. So that's why I'm trying to say, think about your dreams more when you wake up. That's your homework after this episode. But again, if anyone has questions in the live chat, I will look at the chat and start to answer them. So, I don't know. How did y'all like about that? That was my little introduction. Let me know. So anyway, hello users! I am now interacting with the chat. I love your Silent Hill streams. Dude, same. I gotta do more of those. Do you find edges to your dreams? From Chad Chattingston. When you say edges, do you mean like a flat earth kind of thing? Like you just like look, or like, like what do you mean by edges? Because yeah, I mean my dreams aren't necessarily bound to the physics of the universe. So there's lots of times where like, say, you know, there's like a room, right, with a door. I go out of the door, all of a sudden, I'm not in another house or another room in the house. All of a sudden, I'm in an open field. You know, so like, I don't know, like there's a lot of things where physics don't really come into play in dreams. So finding edges to your dreams, you know, that's not out of the question. You can like maybe just, if you walk far enough, if you're in a lucid dream and you're in like a city, you can maybe walk far enough to the point where you are no longer in a city. You're just, you know, maybe on a boat in the middle of the ocean. You know, like it's just a matter of like kind of, you know, what happens. Like it really does depend on your subconscious. Quick question for the journal. Is a computer okay? I don't like paper. It's messy. A computer, I mean, anything is better than nothing. But I mean, for me, a notepad and a pen is the best. Edge is then it goes to the end and it's all blank. I mean, that happens too. One thing I've noticed is if I spin around in circles, my dreams, usually I kind of get dizzy and like I'll fall down. And then when I kind of come to outside of being dizzy, the entire dream environment's different. It can just be all like, you know, nothingness, and it can just be like me kind of like with my eyelids or whatever. So like that's something that can happen for sure. How to stop getting the same childhood nightmares. A lot of people with nightmare problems. For me, I had a lot of nightmare problems. I used to not be able to sleep at night because nightmares were so scary for me. And so one of the things that when you do more dreaming and when you analyze, nightmares are actually a better thing for lucid dreaming. Because if you analyze them more and you think about them more, and you do reality checks and you write your dreams down and you really think about them in like kind of an exploratory, like analytical sense, you will then like eventually, maybe it won't be the first time, maybe it'll be the third or the fourth or the fifth time, but you will eventually see like, oh wait, this is that nightmare. And when you do that, you will become lucid and you will be able to control the nightmare. So if you have recurring dreams, like if you have like, oh, I've got the same dream I used to have when I was a child, in a way, when you start doing lucid dreaming techniques and practices, it will actually be slightly easier for you because you'll have like a more ingrained frame of reference to when you're dreaming. Don't ignore the alcohol question. Does alcohol only mess with your sleep patterns if you drink it regularly / if you sleep after being drunk? I drink very rarely social drinking and don't get... Okay, for me personally, whenever I drink, I try to drink in the middle of the day so that I'm like sobered up by the time I go to sleep. And I notice when I do that, my dreaming is usually not affected at all. If you are not drunk or like, you know, tipsy, you know, it's all a spectrum, of course. But if you have, like, if you're drinking beers until you pass out or something, chances are your sleep cycles are going to be affected. But if you have a few drinks at, like, 6 p.m. at a bar, right? Like, obviously don't do that in a pandemic, right? But, if you do this in a bar, and then, like, you know, you go to bed at, like, midnight, you're not that drunk anymore, if you're just completely sobered up, you'll be fine. It really is about like how much alcohol is in your system. And then of course when you go to sleep, a lot of your heavier dreams will be in REM, which is something I probably should have mentioned. You dream in REM during rapid eye movement phases of sleep, and they get longer and longer with each sleep cycle. And each sleep cycle takes about an hour to 90 minutes. So like for example, when you sleep 8 hours, you'll have like you know, maybe 5 or 6 REM periods, and each one will get progressively longer. So maybe by the time you get the last REM cycle, you won't be drunk at all. You'll have no alcohol in your system. You're good to go, and you'll just have a normal dream. So you shouldn't worry about it too much unless you're drinking like all day, every day, or very heavily. And if you're drinking very heavily on and off, it's just, you know, chances are you'll be fine by the next night. I would like to try mushrooms, Mr. Autumn Winters, but that is currently not something I have access to. But yeah, if I'm missing questions, just repost. For sure. Hello, Lena Tumblehop. Are you new? I don't think I've ever seen you before. Welcome to the streams. I've never been able to remain lucid in the dream. Once I realize I'm dreaming, I get too excited and always wake up. That's another thing. Again, the more you do these things, the more you... Hello, hello, hello? Is this thing on? Okay. Sorry, y'all. OBS cuts out sometimes. But yeah, hello, Lena. Welcome to the stream. Are you, like, is this your first time coming to my channel, or is this the first stream you caught? I'm not trying to interrogate you. I'm just curious. Hello, Navarro Wild, eh? Yeah, my internet has problems. Sometimes it turns off and then turns right back on. But it usually takes like 20 seconds to reconnect. Oh, when you get too excited when you dream, that's kind of like, that's why you shouldn't make lucidity like the #1 priority. Like, because when you make lucidity the #1 priority, if that's what you focus on entirely, you will be more likely to kind of ruin it when you get it. And so that's kind of the thing, is if you just make if you just reassess, like, what my #1 goal is, to analyze my subconscious, to have better, more fulfilling dreams, to, like, use my dreams as, like, storytelling or movies. Think of your dreams as movies or something, right? Think of your dreams as, like, exploring new worlds, lucid or not. Then, when you do become lucid, because these things work in tandem, like, the more you analyze your dreams, the more you do dream stuff, you will become lucid more. So it's not like it's one or the other, or like you have to pick a divergent path. If you do analyze your dreams, you will become lucid more because you've analyzed your dreams more, you're familiar with your dreams more, and when you're too familiar with your dreams, or when you're familiar enough, you will realize you were dreaming, and then you'll become less excited because it'll be more of like a novelty and less of a, oh, my hard work paid off, ah, shit, I woke up. You know, so that's kind of what that is. All about. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing these. My original plan was to go at least half an hour, and I've kind of met that quota. It's 7:30 now. So, I'm playing LSD Dream Emulator, and so this game is really fun. Again, I've got the actual PlayStation game here, and so it's a good game. And I don't know how long, or I don't know when the next episode of this show will be. But if y'all like this, if you just tuned in and you're watching the live stream, go back and watch the archive when the stream's over. I would just recommend watching the full thing. Just because, again, this is going to be a very informative series. And I do want to share this with you. I want everyone that I know to enjoy these things. Because, again, you're sleeping 33% of your life away. You might as well enjoy it. And it does help you get better sleep. It helps you get more satisfying sleep. It makes your sleep more fulfilling. You know, it's like, you know, fitting a lost puzzle piece into your life in a lot of ways. And I don't think nearly enough people are exploring what it is to be explored, what there is to be explored in the dream world. Do you have any guidelines or lectures about dream interpretation, or do you just simply think about what dreams could mean without giving it too much thought to like a systemic way of interpreting? That's something I may look into more as this series goes on. But at the time, I'm not too familiar with that. At times, external stimuli, the lighter sounds, can help me dream lucidly. I can't explain why, but for me it seems Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I know a lot of people, like, will have, like, headphones in and listen to specific music. Or, like, they'll listen to, like, a blank tape. You know, like a, say, a 6-hour audio file. And at 5 hours, 30 minutes, like, a low-volume song will start playing. You know, and that will hit right in the middle of an REM cycle. And then you might hear it in a dream. And you might go, like, oh, shit, I'm dreaming. There's that kind of stuff as well. But I'll talk more about, like, dream induction methods and techniques in a future episode as well. What headphones am I using? This is a Sennheiser, I think. Yeah. I don't know what model it is. I'm so sorry. I got this years ago. So. But when it comes to analyzing your dreams, it really is based on person by person. So it's like, when you notice themes, like, they're going to be themes unique to you, in that kind of sense. Hello, cigarettes and prayers. What are the dangers of lucid dreaming? At this point in my life, I've been doing this for 2 to 3 months now, I don't know any dangers. I don't think there are any dangers. Outside of, you know, I maybe if you dream more and you have a proclivity for nightmares, and at the start when you haven't conquered your nightmares, like for me, nightmares are fun. For me, whenever I have a nightmare, it's one of the most extremely, like, pleasurable experiences because they're just so fast-paced, they're so intense, they're so emotional, right? But when you're first starting out, you might get more nightmares if you're, you know, say, quitting marijuana for a little bit, going on a sobriety break, something like that. Maybe you're doing specific supplements like mugwort or something. You know, you might deal with more nightmares. So I like, but, you know, it comes to a point where the nightmares become fun instead of scary. So I can't think of anything outside of that. Make the stream longer? Not today. That game is totally like many... What, this game? Yeah, this game is really fun. This game is based off of someone's dream journal. It turned into a PlayStation game. Are you sure lucid sleep is more refreshing? It's one of those things that is like a byproduct. When you do lucid dreaming techniques, when you study lucid dreaming, you will know more about sleep. You will know more about sleep cycles. You will know more about how sleep works. You will be able to understand your sleep cycles. For me personally, my body is trained to wake up in between sleep cycles sometimes. So like sometimes I'll sleep for 6.5 hours. I'll wake up. Then I'll be able to write a dream down, and I'll go back to bed with no alarms, and I'll wake up in another hour and a half, and then I hit my full 8 hours. So like that's kind of another thing. But it helps you understand your sleep better. It helps you feel more comfortable with your sleep. So I would say in that sense it's more refreshing. I swear your mic quality is better than most gaming headsets. Keep it up. Thank you. I don't know. A lot of people say my mic quality is bad, but I don't know. Alexandra, thank you. I notice there's a lot of new viewers here. Maybe this is because I'm streaming in a new environment. I'm not sure. But, either way, again, I'm going to do a lot more of these videos. This is only episode 1, or part 1. I've got at least 10 of these specific videos that I can do, like, written down in an outline. So this will, I don't know the frequency. I probably won't do another one of these tomorrow, but Monday is a very high possibility for me doing another one. And so if I get a lot of good feedback, which it looks like I'm getting, I'll try to increase the frequency of these. Analyzing on a personal level seems to be what makes most sense to me, but I'm somewhat curious as to people like Jung and other psychoanalysts who explored common themes for people. I mean, I haven't looked into that, to be honest with you. So I am not necessarily sure. If you want to link me any media on Discord messages or something, I'll take a look. I could improve my sleep. I dream a lot, but rarely in control. If you already dream a lot, like once you start doing techniques, once you start like maybe introducing supplements to the whole thing, you will very quickly get the hang of things, as opposed to someone who doesn't remember most of their dreams. Witch Shunt, why are you deleting your messages? Help? Interesting. Maybe white noise and things that could be helpful as well. Fascinating, nevertheless. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that. Jung and Freud and others, ... Yep. Anyway, I think I've said all that there is to say. But yeah, send me any links on Discord. If you're new here, if you're a new viewer, be sure to subscribe. That kind of stuff. Again, I upload a lot of different content. I upload political stuff, video games. I'm going to probably do fitness-related content at some point. More philosophical stuff. And then now here, I've got the dreaming stuff, Lucid Dreaming, which this has been like my #1 cool-ass thing that I've been doing in my life. So there's all kinds of stuff. I'm all about the human experience, what it is to be human, how to enjoy being human to the best of our capabilities. So, yeah, for sure. Be sure to subscribe. Back in the days, I started to lucid dream. I didn't notice it, but after some time, as I realized that I was aware of my dreams, but I couldn't run. This is how I realized that I was lucid dreaming. You are aware that you are lucid dreaming, but you can't do what you want to do. Yeah, that again, it's all a spectrum. Like, once you become lucid more often, like, the more and more experience you have doing it, and if you try to make subtle steps, if you try to make these subtle moves, like, maybe I'll reach my hand into my pocket, right? And, you know, I'll pull out, like, a keychain with a doggy on it, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like, the more you do that, the more you will have more and more control. You will get there. It's not all going to happen at once, but it will happen. So that I can assure you. But I think that this stream is over. I hope that the format was good. I'm open to changing it. Like, so the next video and this video, again, if you came here in the middle of it, I recommend going back and watching the full monologue. But the way I'm going to do this is a monologue, kind of talking about the specific topic, and then I'll just open to a Q&A. So if anyone has questions, I will answer them. But, how do we know you're not dreaming this now? That's a great question. Think about it. That's a great question. Dream meetings are fascinating. Check the internet about dream meetings. Wow. Anyway, again, subscribe. You can feel free to join my Discord. It can be found on my website in the links section. My website is speed.dog. So go ahead and check that out. And, toodaloo. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. And I'm just gonna chill until this video is over. LSD Dream Emulator has some very, very high quality content. There's a lot. If I were to do edited content for Glitcher, there are a lot of fun edits I could do. That's a potential project for the future. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was enjoyable. I'll see y'all in a future stream or video. Goodbye. This is the part where I awkwardly look at the camera and then click.